प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, गोपी जन वल्लभा यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, कलयुग पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna. Very happy to see all of you. It's been a long time. Even though we went for only, I think, 10-15 days maybe max, it felt like eternity. So very happy to see all of you. So we'll begin with Mangalacham prayers. Please kindly do it together if you are familiar. You will become familiar if you are not very soon. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We'll do the full one. Sorry. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bhadan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. Are the kids still outside? If you are not against wall, please try to move forward. We have Gita Champions. It's a competition for memorizing verses and a speech competition. So we have selected, I think, 6 verses. So we will be reciting them now. So we become familiar. We will be discussing these verses in the next few sessions. So please kindly repeat after me. Yajñarthat karmanonyatra. Sorry, too slow. Yajñarthat karmanonyatra. Lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Tadartham karma kaunteya. Mukta sangha samachara. There must be a second mic somewhere. Kovi can read the first translation.
Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform the prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage.
Thank you. So we will be discussing this verse soon, but many of you who attended karma session know that this verse speaks about akarma. While performing work, we are actually not getting any negative or positive reactions for the karma. Okay. Would anyone like to recite this verse? Okay, Shriya.
Yad yad acharati shreshthas.
Yad yad acharati shreshthas.
Tad tad eva taro jana.
Tad tad eva taro jana.
Sayat pramanam kurute.
Sayat pramanam kurute.
Lokastad anuvartate.
Lokastad anuvartate.
Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues.
Very bold. Give you a round of applause. Anyone would like to recite this verse? Okay, please kindly repeat. Prakrite kriyamanani. Prakrite kriyamanani. Gunai karmani sarvasaha. Gunai karmani sarvasaha. Ahankara vimudatma. Ahankara vimudatma. Kartaham iti manyate. Kartaham iti manyate. Rishik, can you please read the translation?
The spirit soul be violent.
bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself in the door of activities that are actually carried out by the three modes of material nature.
Haribo. We will explain these verses in future session. This requires much more explanation. Would anyone like to recite this verse? Very popular.
Pavitranaya sadhunam
Paritranaya sadhunam
Vinashaya chatushkrutam
Vinasaya chatusrutam
Dharma samsthapanarthaya
Dharma samsthapanarthaya
Sambhavami yuge yuge.
Sambhavami yuge yuge.
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
There you go. Let's give a round of applause. For that beautiful recitation. Very popular verse. Probably doesn't require much explanation. Next verse. Would anyone like to try? Janma karma cha me divyam.
Janma karma cha me divyam
Janma karma cha me divyam
Evam yo veti tattvataha
Evam yo veti tattvataha
Tyaktva deham punarjanma
Tyaktva deham punarjanma
Naiti mam eti so arjuna
Naiti mam eti so arjuna.
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon live the body, take this birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
Haribo. This will be in the 4th chapter. I don't know if we'll have enough sessions. I think we should be able to cover before. The Gita Champion, I think, is the first week of December, first weekend of December. We'll have 3 more sessions. But I think Matajis are gone for 1 session, so 2 more sessions. So we'll see how much we can cover. Okay, the last verse. Anyone would like to try reciting this? 4.34. Okay, you can move here if you like. We unfortunately cannot turn the TV much more than this.
Tadvidi pranipatena
Tadvidi pranipatena
Pariprashnena sevaya
Pariprashnena sevaya
Upadekshanti te yanam
Upadekshanti jnanam
Jnaninas tatvadarshinaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge onto you because they have seen the truth.
Haribo. This verse also is very, very important in our spiritual journey, and we're going to discuss more about this. But what we are trying to do here in these 5-10 minutes is to become familiar with these verses so that we feel comfortable memorizing these verses. And I think we discussed how memorizing verses is such a powerful process. Intelligence gets purified, and at the right time, the mind pulls us in some direction. These verses come as a friend and they try to help us. You will notice it as you memorize verses. You get into a life situation where you're very easily disturbed, then immediately you remember, what is that? 2 dot. Anyone remembers we did? This one. Matra Sparshastha. So then immediately around Matra Sparshastha Kaunteya Sitoshna Sikadukada Agamapayano Nitya Stantitiksha Bharata. So happiness and distress, they're like seasons. They come and go. When winter is coming, we don't cry saying, oh, winter is coming, what will I do? So anyway, please do memorize as many verses as possible. So, and then I think we also have a speech competition. The topic, I think, is working for Krishna, something like that. At the end, we'll make the announcement. All right. So with that, before we begin our session today, can I request those who are not leaning against the wall, please come forward so that, okay. As we were traveling, one thing I see that chanting calls have been going on, reading calls have been going on very nicely. And I was feeling very happy and joyful to see the sincerity of all of you. We have been missing our service, serving all of you. But I was very happy to see that all of you are very nicely engaged in Krishna consciousness. So very grateful to you for all the sincerity that you are showing and the wonderful example that you are all setting. So we should give a round of applause to all of you. Because without association, I'm sure you may have this experience over the last 3-4 weeks. Without association, it's actually difficult to practice spirituality. Very, very difficult. Impossible even. So it goes downwards like this. You don't take any association, old habits creep in, whatever you resolve to give up, come back, and then mind pulls you in different directions. Things that you are not very proud of, you will end up doing, and then you will repent later. Oh, why did I do? And then you keep doing, and then you keep thinking, why am I doing this? Oh, what is wrong with me? I am useless. I am fit for nothing. Anyway, and then it's a downward spiral from there. But you come to spiritual association, you go back and you're going in the car, you're thinking, this is it. This is the best thing that has happened to me. I'm going to come back next week again. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this change in my life. And you'll have many more experiences like that. Of course, in order to be able to sustain, we have to keep coming back. We must follow and practice what we are hearing. So today's topic, which is an interesting one, Supreme. Who is the Supreme? One God or many gods? Of course, one God. Who says one God? Many of you. Most of you. It's, of course, coming from Indian background, we are used to seeing. I remember in my home altar earlier, before my parents became Krishna devotees, ISKCON devotees. In our altar we used to have, I would jokingly say, 33 crore demigods. Every nook and corner there is one picture of some god. And then you look, you're offering obeisances and you're thinking, which god should I pray to? Which god should I offer obeisances to? So some people say, no, it doesn't matter. All gods are same. Doesn't matter whom you worship. It's okay. Everything is same. Is it so? Are all gods same? Is the audio okay? Or is there? Okay. I hear echo. Kids today, they don't have any class? Yeah. I'm happy to have them. They're getting set up, okay. Anybody thinks, is it okay to worship all gods? All gods are same? Okay, we're going to see 5 reasons why there is a supreme and what is the difference between the supreme God and demigod. Any guesses who is the supreme? Lord Krishna. Everybody agrees?
Yes.
Krishna is the supreme?
Yeah.
Some are agreeing like this, some are agreeing like this. Some are, if I don't nod, what will they think?
According to Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, Supreme God is Lord.
Supreme God is Lord. Some people say that you ISKCON people, it's obvious, what should I expect? Coming to you for the Gita sessions, what can I expect? Of course, I should have known this. You will say Krishna is the Supreme. You go to Shiva temple and say Shiva is the Supreme. You go to Ganeshji's temple, Ganeshji is Supreme. Is that so? Can the Supreme change depending on which temple you are in? No. It's a relative truth. It's not absolute truth.
Youth can come for the class if they want. Any youth.
Youth, you are welcome to join your youth class, which is more interesting, more interactive. Okay. So, why is Krishna the Supreme? Naturally, anybody asks, it's not that I like Krishna, so Krishna must be Supreme. I like Ganeshji, so Ganeshji must be Supreme. I think we told the story of Krimikanta in Ramanujacharya's time. How he argued that Lord Shiva is the Supreme. And why? Because I worship Lord Shiva, because I am great, Shiva must be the Supreme. So this is, in the material world, out of false ego, because of false ego, false identification, we think I am great. So anything that I worship must be great. So, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So these are the 5 reasons why. What is the difference between the Supreme and demigods? This is a term we don't usually hear outside ISKCON. Prabhupada coined this term. Devatas, as we usually call it, whereas Supreme is referred to as Bhagavan. So in Vedas, in Puranas, you see Brahma Uvacha, Narada Uvacha, Shiva Uvacha, Ganesh Uvacha, Kartikeya Uvacha, like that. But as soon as Krishna starts speaking, you don't see Krishna Uvacha. It actually usually says Bhagavan Uvacha. We're going to discuss what that Bhagavan means little later. So Bhagavan versus Devatas, or the Supreme Lord versus demigods. What is this? There is an acronym, Nawab, Nawab, Nawab. So N stands for number. Supreme Lord is one, whereas demigods are many. To be precise, 33 crore demigods. And each of them have their own places where...
No, maybe in Kali Yuga it might have reached.
That's a joke, in case you didn't get it. So because every gully now has a new god. No, in fact, maybe the other way around. Everybody claims that they are Bhagavan. In India, oh God. In Andhra especially, you go, there is a poster. It says, Bhagavan, Shri, 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 some name. Another street you go, another place you see, Bhagavan, Shri, 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 Shri. Swayam Bhagavan in another place. Oh God, crazy. But in reality, there is only one Supreme, whereas there are 33 crore demigods, or Devatas. A stands for abodes, the places where they live. Any guess where Krishna lives? Yeah, Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha, all spiritual worlds are usually referred to as Vaikuntha. But within Vaikuntha, there is a specific place, Goloka. Goloka is the place where Krishna resides. And where do demigods reside?
Different planets.
Different planets. In fact, each demigod have For us, we have in Fremont some 1800 square foot house. We feel, I have a big house. They have planets for themselves. So they have, but still smaller compared to what we find in the spiritual world. And then, of course, even though they have planets, they are still material planets, meaning they are temporary. They are there for some time. It may look like extremely long time from our perspective, but nevertheless it is still short. I think we were discussing during Bhagavatam call how after every yuga, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, there may be a partial devastation. After every Manvantara, there could be a partial devastation, but for sure there will be total devastation at the end of Brahma's day, which is equal to 1000 Chaturyugas, 44 billion years. One day of Brahma is equal to 44 billion years. You can imagine how long Brahma's day might feel like. So in one day of Brahma, at the end of Brahma's day, all demigods' planets are actually destroyed. All whatever homes they have, it is taken away from them. So even though they have very big abodes, it is still temporary. It is still part of the material world. Whereas Krishna's abode, the Goloka Vrindavan, is eternally there. It is never destroyed. It is always existing. W. What is the acronym we are going for? Nawab. So W. W stands for work. Once one German came to India. He visited many different types of temples. And in the end, as he was leaving, and eventually he wrote it in his book also, he told Krishna must be the supreme. So at the immigration, as he was leaving, what is it called, immigration? Wherever he is departing from, whichever airport he was departing from, he said Krishna must be supreme in his conversation with. So intrigued, he asked, how do you know? He said, every temple, every deity I saw, all of them have some weapon. Durga Devi has some weapon. Lord Shiva has some weapon. Ganeshji has weapons. Everybody has weapon. Except for Krishna. He is nicely just playing flute and enjoying with gopis and his friends. So naturally I think Krishna must be the supreme. And boy, he is right. Because in the spiritual world, there are no demons. I mean, for the sake of pastime, there are some disturbing elements. But in general, Krishna is mostly playing and enjoying. Even in Vrindavan, so many big demons came. Krishna never lifted a weapon. All of them simply, by sucking out, he killed Putana. By kicking a cart, he killed, what's the second demon? Shakatasura. By holding tightly, he killed Trinavarta. So, in Vrindavan, Krishna never had to lift his Sudarshan Chakra or any weapon for that matter. So as far as work is concerned, Krishna has no work. His work is only enjoyment. You see now Amazon CEO, ex-CEO, what's his name? Jeff Bezos. So usually we have this in corporate world. We have CEOs, executive vice presidents, senior vice presidents, senior directors, and then what else? Senior manager, and us engineers. So demigods are like maybe senior manager or director, like that. Even within demigods there are gradations. Brahma is considered to be the chief executive officer of this entire material universe, for this particular universe. Just as we have many companies, there are many material universes, and each of them have their own Brahma, so their own CEOs. So many CEOs like that, so many Brahmas like that. But there is only one owner for all these companies, who is enjoying nicely in Golok Vrindavan with his friends, with his mother, with his father, with his girlfriends, with cows. No work for Krishna. Whereas demigods, they are like government servants, employed by the government of Krishna, and they have, every day they wake up in the morning, they do their puja, and then they go to work. They must perform their duties. They cannot say, today I don't feel like working. Of course, they also get weekends off and things like that, sick leaves, and maybe they don't get sick, by the way. Demigods don't get sick. But whatever they do, they are doing it as a duty because they have to perform those duties. They have been appointed, and that's what our next A stands for. A stands for appointed, meaning they have been selected based on some qualification. You see, all the 33 crore demigods, these are like posts. Just as we have elections every 4 years in America. We don't like the president, we throw him off. Next time we select somebody else. So similarly, every 14 manvantaras, demigods also keep changing. So they have a very long post in which they stay for a very long time. But still, in their calculation, every few years, maybe every 4 years for them also, is like re-election. They have to stand in election again. And depending on the qualification, they get selected or rejected. So, demigods are appointed heads to perform their duties, to help the entire material universe function. Whereas Krishna is not appointed. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. Ishvara, he is the Supreme Controller. Ishvara Parama Krishna. He is the Supreme. Parama means the Supreme. And he is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Sat Chit Ananda. He is, that's what B stands for. Bodies. His body is made out of Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means eternal. Chit means fully aware or fully knowledgeable. And Ananda, completely blissful. His body is not made of blood, urine, pus like ours. Material body, you will realize after 40, 50 maybe, is a sack of pain, mostly giving us pain. I realized that after some point you learn some new names of muscles. You never knew such a muscle existed in your body. Never gave any pleasure. But now is the source of your number one pain. You turn like this, pain. Get up suddenly, pain. So this body is primarily a source of pain as we get older. So Krishna Sat Chit Ananda, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. Many people say God is formless. True, God also has form. God is an energy. That's an inferior representation of God. So Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. God has 3 different levels of realization. So Brahman means all pervading energy. And Paramatma is localized aspect of God, sitting in every living entity's heart, guiding them based on what they deserve and desire. We hear in the morning, wake up, remember, you put in an alarm. That's the voice of Paramatma. So all of us are very fortunate that we get to hear Bhagavad Gita every day, because we are hearing the song of Krishna every day in the morning. Everything, any dictation we hear is actually coming from God, based on what we desire and deserve. And Bhagavan is the supreme, the person who is in the spiritual world, eagerly waiting for the conditioned souls who put so many conditions. I will come to you only if you do this, this, this. So he's eagerly waiting for us to realize that this material body that we are attached to this material world, this house, families, positions that we are attached to, they are all temporary. And they only frustrate the soul. Because we get attached thinking, oh, this is a source of pain for me, pleasure for me. We get attached. The child, very chubby cheeks, dimple chin, rosy lips. What is the next one? Teeth within. Curly hair, very fair. And then we get attached to them. And then, loving. And as they grow 4, 5, 10 years, that slowly, then once they become teenagers, every word they say is like, and you're thinking, oh God, why am I attached to this guy? But you're already attached. You can't give up that attachment. So soul is looking for eternal happiness and eternal relationships. And we will only find that in Krishna consciousness. Meaning, we must become aware of Krishna, and then we must become aware of every living entity's connection with Krishna. Only then can we really love somebody. Otherwise, we may love their body, but that love is temporary because their bodies will change. Oh, I love this girl. Yeah, very nice. Wait until you get married. Or wait until they get older. And that's why we see many people, they're attracted to the body and then they get married. It no longer gives them pleasure and then they divorce. So, anyway, coming back. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. His body is made of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Yes.
Ishvara Parama Krishna. Krishna means most attractive, right? So Parama Krishna is but it is saying that Ishvara is who is most attractive. I think this is right.
Yes. So if we go through this whole thing, then it will become only description of adjective. This is Brahma. This verse comes from Brahma Samhita. And we see in all Brahma Samhita verses, that could be one explanation, but in all Brahma Samhita verses, the last line, anybody knows what the last line of the Brahma Samhita verses is? Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So all verses, Alula Chandrika Lasadvanamalya Vamsi, every verse begins with something, but the last line is always this. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So yes, you could say Krishna means all attractive. But Acharyas, because they don't want to leave a single slight room for confusion. So Prabhupada and Acharyas translate Krishna as not as an adjective but as a noun. And they say Krishna refers here to the Supreme Lord Krishna. Ishvara Parama is Krishna. Satchidananda Vigraha. He is Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadir. He is the oldest. Anadir, Adir. He is the beginning. Anadir, Adir, Govinda. Again Govinda. Sarva Karana Karana. Govinda can be translated as Govinda, as Krishna. Or it can also be translated as Govinda. He gives pleasure to the senses. Go means senses. Govinda. He is the one who gives pleasure to everybody's senses. Sarva Karana Karana. He is the cause of all causes. This is such a beautiful realization. Once you realize this, you will hate nobody. When you realize this, Krishna is the Sarva Karana Karana. My spouse is not the cause of my pain. She or he may be only immediate cause. When a train is going, for example, why is my compartment moving? Because of my previous compartment. That compartment is pulling my compartment. That's why my compartment is moving. But ultimately, my compartment is moving not because of the previous compartment, but because of the engine. Because engine is pulling all the compartments, my compartment is moving. So when we realize that Krishna is the Sarva Karana Karana, then we will have no hatred towards anyone. Because we see, these are merely instruments for giving my own karma that I have committed in my past lives. So somebody coming, scolding me, somebody hitting me, chastising me, ignoring me, they are all I must have done sometime in the past. And Krishna is kindly giving it through them. Same thing with good also. Oh, I love my parents, they are the best. Yes, of course. They acted as good instruments and we must feel very grateful towards them. But ultimately we must recognize that Krishna is the one who gave them the inspiration to love us. Krishna is the one who is guiding them to love us, to support us. So, Sarva Karana Karana. If we realize this actually, you will feel supremely blissful in any situation you may be in. Okay. Coming back, B for bodies. Krishna's body is Satchit Ananda, is made of not material bodies, which will eventually be taken away by time. But it is eternally, Krishna is mentioned, he is the first person, but he is eternally 16-year-old only. So he is as beautiful as he was millions and billions of years ago. We can't say that for ourselves. How about demigods' bodies? Is their bodies, I think we kind of discussed earlier, their bodies are material, meaning they are temporary. They may not go through the same type of, it is mentioned in Swargaloka, there are no grey hair, no wrinkles also. Perfect 20/20 vision. No big tummies like that. We eat little more gulab jamun, we get. I was realizing I went to India. There we ate prasadam left, right, every day. We were thinking whether we will get dinner or not. Better we eat more now only. And then we ate like that. Then I came back and I checked 3 pounds more, and I was thinking, what? In 10 days, how can I put 3 pounds more? That is how it took me 3 months to lose 3 pounds. 10 days, 3 pounds more. So, yeah, unfortunately, our bodies. So, demigods' bodies, they don't have this type of problem. They have not six-pack, but they have very healthy bodies, very fit bodies. But still, even though their bodies don't stink, they don't have grey hair, no wrinkles like that, still their bodies are temporary. They are there only for some time, and after that their bodies are gone. So that is the difference between the Supreme Lord versus demigods. What is the acronym? I'm going to cover this so you can. Good test for you. Okay, what is this? What does N stand for? Number. How many supremes versus how many demigods? 33 crore demigods. We may not have perception of all of them. I'm sure many of you know about many of them, in India especially, but I think none of us know all the 33 crore. Okay, A stands for? Abodes. Very nice. Where does Krishna live? Goloka, the spiritual world. And where do demigods live? Different planets. W stands for? Work. What work does Krishna do? Only enjoy. No work. What do demigods do?
They are appointed for specific tasks.
And yeah, they have specific tasks that they must perform. And next, A stands for? Appointed. So they are there only for some time. Indra, that's why he's always anxious. Anybody is doing tapasya, immediately becomes, oh God. He is getting more qualification than me. He immediately sends Ramba, Urva, Meniki, somebody. So they're disturbed and they become angry or whatever. And they lose pious credits. And then he thinks, oh, my post is safe. So appointed versus the Supreme is not appointed. He's there permanently, eternally. And B stands for? Body. Krishna's body is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Whereas demigods and our bodies to some extent, they are not eternal. They are not full of knowledge. I don't know what's happening in my tummy. I have to go through MRI scan to know what's going on in my body. Demigods are also like that. They may be more aware than us, but still they're also not fully cognizant of the entire universe for that matter. And Ananda, Satchit Ananda. Their bodies are not made of Ananda. I mean, this body also does give us some pleasure once in a while, especially when we were younger. As we get older, mostly pain, once in a while some happiness. Demigods' bodies also give a lot of pleasure, but not as much as the Supreme Lord, Ananda. Any comments, questions on this?
So you said that the demigod bodies, they leave their body sometime, but I mean, in the mythology, I haven't heard any of that kind of story, right? Except Sati Devi, these kind of stories I have heard, but not like Lord Shiva or Brahma. I haven't heard any of that stories. Yeah.
So Brahma, for example, we hear in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam when Hiranyakashipu asks the benediction, please give me eternality. I want to live eternally. Then Brahma himself says, I myself am not eternal. My body is also temporary. I am also going to die. So how can I give you eternality? So from that we can understand that Brahma's body is also not permanent. And then of course we read from Bhagavatam. Of course, Vedas, they don't deal so much about Bhagavan. And they don't deal so much about the spiritual world as much. So Vedas are primarily pushing us towards Swargaloka. Hey, please do this punya, so you get to go to Swargaloka. In my childhood, I thought Swargaloka is a permanent place. You go there and you just enjoy. No more anxieties. But only later on I learned, I should have been more intelligent. But later on only I learned that even Swargaloka, even though extremely long, millions of years, but are still temporary. I was reading how an insect, there is one insect, I forgot the name, it lives for 1.5 days. In 1.5 days, it takes birth, grows, becomes a teenager, finds a girlfriend, produces family, takes care of family, becomes old and dies. And for that insect, if you go and tell, hey insect, you live only 1.5 days, please do something meaningful. They're like, what are you talking? Full life. King, what is that? Life size? No. Live life king size. So, I think we were discussing, this is called Avaranatmika Shakti. Even though the insect is living only for 1.5 days, it thinks I have full life. We think, what is the urgency? Spirituality? Wait man, come on, why are you so worked up? Just relax, enjoy a little bit. So we have a lot of time. We also think like that. Even demigods' time is also like that. It's a relative thing. Demigods also, they're also waking up in the morning, they're also thinking, oh God, I don't have sufficient time. I must perform these duties. My wife is dragging me, husband is scolding me, children are screaming, I must do all this. So even they are also pressed hard for time. So everybody's time scales are different, but their perception of time is similar. So they also live in their world, they also live 100 years only. But from our scale, it looks like millions of years. But at the end of Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, 3rd or 4th chapter, there is a slight indication of how demigods fall down. People, residents of heavenly planets, fall down to this material realm. I think I described earlier, people as soon as they enter Swargaloka, they are given garland. And as the flower petals come off, it should be understood that the punya is consumed. We are using up our credit. And as soon as our credit becomes zero, we actually fall down from heaven back to Bhu Mandala, where we can again get punya, do punya and get credits, or do papa and get punished in hell. So we see in the Bhagavatam, in the 3rd canto of Bhagavatam, the last chapter of the 3rd canto, if you read, you will see this also, which mentions about how Brahma and Lord Shiva is the last one to go from this material world. Everything gets back gets merged back into Mahavishnu's body. And everything in this material world is actually destroyed, including Brahma, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Lord Shiva as well. All of them go back and merge into the body of Mahavishnu. And all of that happens in one breath of Mahavishnu. This whole entire material universe is created, expanded, 100 years of Brahma's time, and then goes back into Mahavishnu's body. All of that happens in one breath of Mahavishnu. One Mahavishnu. Actually, the other are. One entire cycle of material universe is done. So, from that also we can understand that every living entity, including starting from Brahma to Brahma Gopa, it's an insect. Everybody, their bodies are temporary. Is that helpful, Madhus? Any other comments, questions, reflections?
So that means the demigod's power remains same, but they will be they are merged into Krishna. That's what you said.
Demigods, at the end of their tenure, just as Donald Trump presidency is taken away, with him the powers are also taken away. Person is still there and he may do something else. Similarly, demigods, their position and power are taken away. Somebody else is given that position and those are given the power.
Still that role remains.
Role remains. And the person who was doing, he'll become ex-Indra. So like that. And they have their life that continues. Any other comments, questions, reflections? Okay, little more about worshippers and the results that they get. Krishna worshippers versus demigod worshippers. All of us at some point or now, still maybe, we may be worshipping demigods. We may have pictures of demigods in our home altar. Knowingly, unknowingly, we might be worshipping them. So, what is the difference between Supreme God worshipper versus demigod worshipper? The first, this is also an acronym, MOB, M-O-B. M stands for motivation. Most demigod worshippers are usually businessmen, very good business people. So they go to God, they say, I am breaking one coconut. You please ensure my child gets a good college where I don't have to pay much. Cost of coconut, 10 rupees. Cost of college seat, 10 lakhs. Very good business people. So the motivation for going to God is that I want something in return. That's the motivation. It's okay, it's a good platform to begin with. Most people in America, for example, they don't even go to somebody. Why should I go and worship somebody? Their false ego is so big that they don't want to bend their head down. So compared to them, those who are worshipping somebody else is better. But the motivation of demigod worshipper in general, I'm not saying generalizing for everybody, but most people worship demigods with an intention to get something out of it. Whereas, of course, there are devotees of Krishna who also worship Krishna with this business mentality. That is also alright. We will see in the second canto of Bhagavatam, Krishna mentions Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. When we worship the Supreme Lord, even with material desires, it is slightly better and more beneficial than worshipping demigods with material motive. We'll see why very soon. But the first point is motivation. Why we worship? Most people who are worshipping the Supreme Lord, they are worshipping because they want to be purified so they can become a worthy offering to God. So that their service becomes more pleasurable to the beloved, the Supreme. So their prayer says, how can I serve more? Please give me, please empower me, please purify me so I can do better service. Better quality of service, better quantity of service. So the motivation for worshipping and for chanting and doing any devotional service is primarily for pleasing Krishna. We'll see in Bhagavatam Vishnu appears and he says, hey, I'm so happy. Hiranyakashipu, after killing Hiranyakashipu, Narsimha asked Prahalad, I'm so happy. You tolerated so many pains, so many injustice. I want to give you something. Please ask. Do you know what Prahalad says? He says, oh my Lord, I'm not a businessman. I didn't do all of this bhakti so that I can get something from you. No, I don't want anything. I just want to see you happy, that's it. Nothing else. So that is the motivation of pure devotion. So we want to get there eventually. If we are not there, no problem. We can at least aspire to get there one day. So that's the motivation. Versus demigod worshippers, of course, naturally, some of them, we see this in India. So one friend I know, he used to be an ardent follower of Ganeshji. Go great lengths, very good. Any Ganesh festival, any Ganesh temple in Hyderabad, they would go and visit. After a couple of years later, I spoke to him. He said he's now a Durga Devi devotee. I asked him, what happened? He said, see, I've been worshipping Ganeshji for so many years. I did not get married. So I immediately went to Durga Devi. Within 3 months I got married. So now I'm a devotee of Durga Devi. Ganeshji, no more. So many people have this mentality. They want to go to demigod to exploit them. Get as much as possible. No longer giving. Not interested, sorry. I want somebody else. So the motivation is M. O stands for offers. What does Krishna offer versus what does demigod offers? Of course, Krishna gives what the devotee needs, whereas demigods give what the devotee wants. The example is a person going to a shop. He has money and he says to the shopkeeper, give me cigarettes. Shopkeeper happily takes the money, puts it in his pocket, gives him the cigarette. Even the shopkeeper knows that cigarette is not good for him, but he still gives. In fact, he is obliged to give, because if he is especially working there, so he is obliged to take the money and give cigarette, even though it's not beneficial for him. Whereas, imagine the person going to a shop and the shop is run by his father. He gives money, give me cigarette. Father takes the money and gives him a slap. You rascal. Smoking is injurious to health. So, Krishna offers what the devotee needs. And sometimes, reluctantly, he may give what the devotee wants. The devotee is screaming, please give me cigarette. Krishna may give. It's not at all good for you. Don't. You will burn. He may reluctantly give sometimes. He may give some leeway. But usually he gives what the devotee needs. So he offers things that are beneficial for the devotee. So sometimes we may say, Krishna, please make me a millionaire. And if it is beneficial for our spiritual journey, Krishna will easily give it. But if it is not beneficial for our spiritual journey, maybe by getting $1 million, we become puffed up. Maybe we will spend that money drinking and smoking and gambling in Las Vegas. Krishna says, no. Let me not do that. Whereas demigods, when we worship them, they are bound by their responsibilities to give what the devotee wants. So that is one difference. What Krishna offers versus what demigod offers. And I was mentioning earlier in the second canto, Sukadeva Goswami mentions Akama Sarva Kamava. If you have no desires, Akama, Sarva Kama, you have all material desires. Moksha Kama, you have desire for liberation. Any of them, Akama, Sarva Kama, Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udarathi. Udarathi, dhi means intelligence. Udara means broad intelligence. Somebody with broad intelligence, if he has material desires, all material desires, no material desires, desire for liberation. What should they do? Akama sarva kamava moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena. They should perform bhakti, tivra bhakti. And tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. They should perform bhakti to the supreme person, to Krishna. And when they do so, Krishna gives in such a way that he will fulfill our desire, but at the same time he will do in such a way that the fulfillment of the desire doesn't take us away from the spiritual path. The famous example is Dhruv Maharaj. Anybody knows the story of Dhruv Maharaj? Would like to narrate? So Dhruv Maharaj is son of Uttanapada. Uttanapada is the son of Swayambhu Manu, who is the son of Brahma. So you can say Dhruv Maharaj is the great grandson of Brahma. So one day when he is 5 years old, he wanted to sit on the lap of his father, and his step brother is already sitting on his father's lap. So as he approached, his stepmother rebuked him. He said, "You are never qualified to sit on the throne and sit on the lap of your father. So if you ever have the desire, you go worship Vishnu and take birth from my womb," indicating that basically you are not qualified. Your younger brother, even though he's younger, he will be the future king. Don't entertain the thought of sitting in your father's lap or in his throne eventually. So Dhruv Maharaj, long story, he goes to forest, does very tivra bhakti. He worships Vishnu. He is angry at his stepmother and at his brother Uttama also. And he's thinking, I must take revenge. His motivation was revenge. He said, I will show him. I'm going to ask Vishnu for a place much bigger than Brahma's place. What to speak of Uttanapada? A planet much bigger than Brahma's planet. This was his motivation as he went to the forest and he worshipped Vishnu for 6 months, very austere. And as he is worshipping Vishnu, at the end of 6 months, Vishnu appears. And as soon as Vishnu appears, all his material desires have been melted away. And Vishnu asks, "Hey, why are you worshipping me? What do you want?" And Dhruva Maharaj, he says, "I am ashamed, my Lord, for whatever things I was thinking, whatever desires I had, I don't want them." Vishnu says, no. Since you desired them, I will give you a planet much bigger than Brahma's planet. What we call as Dhruva planet. This will be the pivotal place for the entire material planets within this universe to rotate around. Even after Brahma's planet is annihilated at the end of this Brahma's life, this Dhruva planet resides. This Dhruva planet eternally exists. And then he mentions, he fulfills basically all the desires of Dhruva, even though Dhruva Maharaj himself eventually got purified of that desire. By worshipping the Supreme, this is the benefit. The desire will be purified. So the mind is no longer pulling us towards these things that we are not so proud of. So Krishna, we say, Krishna, please, I have a desire to buy a house. Krishna, I have a desire to watch Facebook, Netflix, this fighting, that fighting, Halloween time, this horror movie, that horror movie I want to watch. Chainsaw. What are some popular horror movies? So I have this desire. Please fulfill them. If it is so strong, we can say, please fulfill them in such a way that the desire eventually goes away. If we are stronger, we can say, Krishna, please, actually I don't want to have these desires. Please take them away from me. Please purify me of this desire. But if we are not at that level, we can at least say, So please don't take away the desire. I still have tendency for enjoying. So please fulfill that desire, but do it in such a way that eventually it will be purified. We can pray like that. And Krishna does what we want and what we need in such a beautiful way that whatever he gives will not impact our spiritual progress. So what Krishna offers versus what demigods offer. And B stands for benediction. The benediction that Krishna gives is eternal. It is never taken away from us. Whatever realizations Krishna gives is never taken away from us. But whatever benediction that demigods give, because their post itself is temporary. Donald Trump may say, was it previous, which one was it? Who is our previous president? Biden. In Biden administration they said, we're going to waive off all student loans. Everybody celebrated, yay, yay. Then came Donald Trump. He said, no, we're going to cancel that. All students have to pay some if but conditions they put, but basically ultimately they said all students must still pay their tuition fee. So whatever benediction that Biden gave is taken away by Mr. Donald Trump. So a similar thing will happen with the demigods. The benedictions that demigods give, because their post itself is temporary, their benedictions are also temporary. They can never give any permanent benediction. And of course, on a practical level, we don't know who the 33 crore demigods are. And Vedas are very, very clear. When we are worshipping the demigod, one syllable we pronounce incorrectly. It is mentioned Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Surpanaka, all of them worshipped Brahma. And all of them did very austere. And then Ravana asked for all the big benedictions. And then Brahma is thinking, oh God, one brother itself is so powerful. And then came the turn for Kumbhakarna. And Kumbhakarna was about to ask for benediction, and Brahma told Saraswati to influence his words. He was planning to say, I want Indrasan. But Saraswati flipped his tongue and made him say, I want Nidrasan. Brahma immediately said, Tadastu. So, and we see in some movies, as they are doing some puja, some demoniac force comes and they flip some character. Even in Ramayana, there is one pastime of how Hanuman goes as they are worshipping some, and then so he makes some small adjustments to the last mantra, the last syllable, and instead of I don't know if you know, I, E, U, 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 and the last one is aha. Actually, it's not aha, it's ah. So he changes that to ha. Ha means killer. Anyway, so we will narrate that story some other time. So just by changing the pronunciation slightly, instead of Ravana acquiring power to kill Rama, Ravana did all the puja to get killed by Rama. That is how the meaning of that mantra changes. And all the demigods bless him with that. So when we are worshipping demigods, the proper pronunciation of the mantras is very, very important. And any small mistake, that's it. Whatever you prayed for only you get. So, whereas of course the Supreme Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He looks at our intention, not just the outside syllable. Some people say Krishna should not be Krishna, it should be Krishna. Hare Krishna. But Krishna is very merciful. Whether you say Chinese, you talk to Chinese, you hear Chinese chanting. Their pronunciation, Krishna, Krishna. They're very difficult. Some Russians pronounce it very difficult. Their pronunciation is Krishna. They say this is Hare Krishna. This is a very typical pronunciation of Russian. So each country has different types of pronunciation. Krishna is not going to say this guy didn't pronounce my name properly. No entry for you. No, nothing like that. Because he looks at the essence. So we don't know all the 33 crore demigods. We don't know the proper mantras to worship them. And even if we know, it's a very dangerous, slippery path. So we may make mistakes, and because of that, the result we get could be entirely different. So it's better, instead of going and watering every twig, every branch, every leaf, it's easier to water the root. In fact, if you go and water every leaf also, the leaf may not get proper nourishment because you're only watering the surface of it. But when you water the root, the nourishment that the leaf gets is better. So what Bhagavad Gita recommends, Bhagavatam recommends, is watering the root. Yata taru mula nishechanena. So when we water the root, which is Krishna, when we worship Krishna, all demigods are actually more satisfied, and they fulfill our desires in such a way that is beneficial for us, and at the same time they fulfill our desires also. No separate worship of demigods is needed. Many people ask, hey, in your ISKCON you don't worship, you don't celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi? I think recently during our housewarming, one kid was asking, Prabhu, do you not celebrate Dashara? Actually, we celebrate the best Dasara. We celebrate the best Ganesh Chaturthi. Because by worshipping the Supreme, Ganesh Ji is more pleased, Durga Devi is more pleased with our worship. So they will give us more blessings. So the best way to please demigods is by pleasing the Supreme. So by feeding the tummy, which is like Krishna, all the body parts get nourished. So similarly, by worshipping Krishna, all demigods are actually more pleased than directly worshipping them. So that's why we recommend, of course, if you have particular attachment to a demigod, you can pray. Many of the demigods are actually pure devotees, not everyone. Ganesh Ji is a pure devotee, Lord Shiva is a pure devotee, Brahma is a pure devotee. Need not always be the case. So we can worship demigods, and most often when we worship demigods and our motivation is not business, then usually they direct us, they connect us to a Krishna devotee. They nudge us in the direction of pure devotional path. Because of that demigod, so now they become our guru now. So we can offer our obeisances to them, be grateful to them by guiding us in the right path. Okay, we'll take a pause here. Any questions, comments?
So as you said, if a mantra is chanted wrongly in case of demigods, it might give a reverse effect, whatever we are thinking. But at the end of every puja, we say that whatever mistakes I do, please forgive me for that, and then so maybe they are pleased with that.
Yes, that's why it's important to, what if we make mistake while doing that last mantra? So, yes, and it's not that all demigods are like lawyers waiting for you to make a mistake. This syllable you did not pronounce properly. They are also merciful. They are also like more powerful people, but more loving than us. They also want to nudge us in the direction of pure devotion. So whatever so-called punishment they may give is actually for our benefit only. And they will give as much as we can take. So they may say, oh, this guy cannot take any punishment. Even though we made so many mistakes in our syllables, mantras, they may still give what we asked for. But if we have the capacity, they will find these excuses to nudge us in the direction of pure devotion. But the essence of this whole point is that it is safer to worship the Supreme, because you will get, your motivation will be purified. What they offer, what Krishna offers is permanent, and the benediction is also permanent. And what Krishna offers is what is beneficial for us, and what Krishna offers is permanent. That's the point we are trying to make. Of course, sometimes in order to make Krishna look good, we may say things that that we shouldn't think that demigods are all villains, eagerly waiting for us to make mistakes. No, they are also serving the Supreme. They are also very eagerly looking to see how we can help this particular conditioned soul who is stuck in this cycle of birth and death. Like me, let me help them also. And by helping them, Krishna will be pleased with my service. So that's what they are thinking. So, any other questions, comments, reflections? What did we discuss so far? What 2 acronyms? What does Nawab stand for? Number of 1 supreme versus 33 crore. Abode. Krishna's abode is eternally Goloka Vrindavan, and the abode of demigods is different planets. W is work. Krishna has no work, only enjoyment. Demigods must perform their work. A is appointed. Prabhus are all. What does A stand for? Thank you. Their thinking is so small, so easy. Why are you bothering us? I'm sorry. They are all appointed, whereas Krishna is not appointed. And B stands for body. Krishna has spiritual body, whereas demigods' bodies are temporary, material. And the difference between demigod worshippers and Krishna worshippers is mob. M stands for motivation. O stands for what? The way Krishna offers. Krishna offers what we need, whereas demigods offer what we want. Even though many of the times it's not what is beneficial for us. And B stands for benediction. The benediction is permanent when Krishna offers versus temporary. Okay. Any reflections, comments, questions?
Prabhu, why in India, this information is not spread across? We see so many temples, Lord Shiva temple, Venkateshwara temple, so many. But not, there may be a lot of Krishna temples, I'm not denying it, but why the Lord Krishna is the supreme? It should be other way, okay? There should be more Krishna temples, okay? Demigods, what they appointed, they do duties with what is needed. And also, that message also has to be spread across like that, the Krishna is the supreme and
Yes, very good question. So first question about number of temples is connected to your second question, which is why is the knowledge not being spread? We must first of all recognize we are in the material world, which means the living entity is rebellious towards the supreme. We came to the material world because we were rebellious. We don't want to cooperate with the supreme. We wanted to play our own. We have our own agenda. I want to enjoy separately from God. That's why we came to the material world. So now, a rebellious soul like us, we hear, hey, you should become subordinate to the supreme. What do you think their immediate reaction is? Oh, why should I serve the supreme? I want to fulfill my own desires. So for that, conditioned souls at that stage, Krishna tells, all right, you do whatever you want. But maybe you can worship these demigods who will fulfill your desire only. Because the conditioned souls, they are not at a platform where they are willing to fulfill Krishna's desires. That is a very high platform. But in order for them to get to that level, first of all, they must cross many more hurdles. Krishna is telling, okay, fulfill your desires only, but at least worship somebody else. Don't think I am the supreme. I will do whatever I want. So this is more agreeable to the conditioned soul. All right. I worship, but my desire should be fulfilled. My plan should be executed. So still, their false ego is the most important thing. Whichever God fulfills their desire, they are willing to do that. By worshipping demigods like that for many lifetimes, Krishna mentions Bahunam Janmanamante. After many births, Ante, at the end, they come to this realization. Why should I worship for temporary things? You tell this to somebody who is after money, You tell them, hey, the money is temporary. You will only have it for 80 years. You will not take it with you. They say, what are you talking? I will have that money for 80 years. That's what is important for me. They haven't come to the realization that that the money is temporary. So for them, it will not go into their head. So they must experience. Prabhupada writes this in the Nectar of Instructions, or his Upanishad introduction, one of them. He tells that there are 4 classes of people. The first class person hears and agrees. He says, yes, drinking alcohol is bad. I will not drink alcohol. But the second class person, he says, is it so? Drinking alcohol is bad? He needs to see. First person, hear and follow. Second person, he hears, not so much. He goes out. He sees somebody drinking, somebody sleeping on streets, somebody drinking and fighting with his spouse. This reminds me of one joke. Once one person drunk till midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning, is going. The police stopped him. Where are you going? And the drunkard said, I am going to hear some pravachan. The police was surprised, So, where are you going to hear the pravachan? He said, at my home. The police asked, who is giving pravachan? My wife. And he asked, what is the topic? And then he said, what are the disadvantages of alcohol? So, anyway, coming back to the second class person, he hears, doesn't believe yet, doesn't have sufficient faith. So he has to see the example. Then he sees somebody getting scolded, life spoiled, and then he says, yes, drinking is bad. But then there is a third class person. He sees also, he hears, sees, he still thinks, no, this guy doesn't know how to drink properly. This guy doesn't know how to manage family properly. This guy doesn't know how to, I will show him. And then he starts drinking. In the beginning, see, this is how you should drink. You should drink only little and enjoy. And then slowly he gets addicted. And slowly he is sleeping on, next day he wakes up. Where am I sleeping? I thought I am such a high class person. I am sleeping on some street. I am fighting with my wife. So through experience he realizes that actually, you know what? Drinking is bad. But it's already late. He is addicted now. He thinks every day in the morning all alcohols, they are the best people. It happened once in ISKCON Chowpatty temple. There is one temple in ISKCON Mumbai. Juhu is one big temple, and then there is one more temple, Chowpatty. So next to Chowpatty, close by, there is some wines bar. So once they were running a contest, side effects, bad effects of alcoholism, disadvantages. And one drunkard came. He said, can I also participate? Devotee said, you are a drunkard, how will you participate? He said, I know disadvantages better than you guys. So yeah, that is true actually. Okay, coming back to your question. So, some people may hear, but they will not easily accept that Krishna is the supreme and I must worship Krishna. They must experience it. They must see or experience it themselves to come to the realization that Krishna is the supreme and worshipping Krishna and going back to spiritual world is the ultimate goal of life. To come to that realization is a very, very rare. Krishna mentions, I think in the 7th chapter, he mentions out of many people who are aspiring for spirituality, is that working? I don't think that is working. We forgot to connect
Yes.
something. It is connected.
Yeah. Now it's working, yeah.
When our connection is weak, it's like this. So we must always ensure our connection to the Supreme is strong. Okay. Yeah. Out of many who are aspiring for spirituality, few aspire for perfection. And of those who attain perfection, very rarely one understands Krishna. That's what he mentions. So it's actually a very rare thing, right? Because we live in material world in Kali Yuga, where spirituality is an afterthought. It's like a spare tire. Family issues, health issues, job issues, then immediately God, please help. Everything going well, life is cool, life is cool, life is cool. Then no thought of God. So we're living in material world in Kali Yuga, so where spirituality itself is an afterthought. So for many people, spirituality is not so important, of which, so they are not trying to understand the essence of the Bhagavad Gita and things like that. So demigod worshippers are more because that's what has been propagated to fulfill your material desires quickly. And that's why it is prominent in the material world. And that because where there is more demand, naturally more temples. Ganeshji temples are more prominent because Ganeshji removes obstacles. Everybody knows. Ganeshji removes obstacles. So naturally every street will have one Ganeshji's temple.
And even Lord Krishna faced a hurdle. There is a story, right? He sees the moon and then he also faces the obstacle because...
This is part of the pastime. We will not confuse the greater audience here. But the point is that if you hear, somebody hears that Krishna removes your material desires also, immediately, what is this? There is one person who was worshipping, who heard that Krishna will fulfill desires. So he got a murti of Krishna. And he was offering, what is this? Not lamb. Agarbatti. Every day he was offering agarbatti. And he worshipped for 6 months, but his desires are not getting fulfilled. In fact, opposite is happening. And then he heard in one class that Krishna will give you what is beneficial for you. Sometimes if something is not beneficial, he will take it away from you. And this guy thought, wow, this is dangerous. He immediately changed. He put Krishna's deity somewhere else. And then he got Durga Devi's deity. Ganeshji, Lakshmiji. All three combo he put. And he started offering agarbatti. And in the middle of the puja, he realized. And then he got up. He put dudi in the nose of Krishna. He thought, what if, even though I am offering here, what if he thinks I am offering to him? And he takes, and when Krishna put his, this one, Krishna appeared. Krishna appeared and this person was bewildered. He said, I have been worshipping you for 6 months, you never appeared. But suddenly now you appear, why? Krishna said, see, now you're thinking, you're treating me as a person. You think, I'm going to smell this. That's why you covered my nose with those cotton. So you at least perceive me, you at least recognize that I am there. That's why I appeared. So but that's the condition of worshippers of gods in general. They're worried if you tell somebody that Krishna will purify your desires, they're immediately thinking, oh God, I am in the wrong place. So that's why we see less temples like that. And then also, of course, over time, earlier, all temples used to have some pravachans. In my childhood, I would remember my mother would say, break coconut, sit in the temple, at least for 30 seconds. So we are rushing on a Monday morning to school. We are already late. And we are rushing, go break coconut. Because my motivation is, if you go to temple on Monday morning, Monday evening my mother makes nice tiffins. That, not coconut, sallapunkulu, what is this? Bondas. Bondas. Nice upma, senior upma, all that. So my motivation is that. So I would go to temple in the morning and then would rush, break coconut, sit 30 seconds, eat one piece. This is my mother's instruction. You must eat little prasad, sit for 30 seconds, you can come. And I wondered why that eating prasad, okay, prasad, so, but why sit 30 seconds? That I understood later. That earlier there used to be pravachans in temple. And people are recommended to go sit here. At least while we are in the temple, we hear the futility of this material world and the final goal of going back to the spiritual world. So to cultivate that, there were pravachans. Now slowly, nobody is interested in those, and those also reduced. So it's a degradation of Kali Yuga that we see in effect. Is that helpful?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Any other comments, questions? You had something, Mati? Oh, you are clapping. All glories to our acharyas for giving such wonderful explanations. The next offer. Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, one of the things why we don't see Krishna consciousness presented so systematically, so simply, so wonderfully that it can be connected to software engineers sitting in America is it requires an empowered acharyas who understand the essence, to keep the main thing, and to be not bogged down by all the small rules. So we are very fortunate that very few souls exist like that, and Srila Prabhupada is one of them, who very clearly, those who reads Bhagavad Gita from Prabhupada, Venuji, I remember, he said, and this is the best compliment I heard, he said, when I started reading Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, I understood everything very clearly. And even a child can understand very clearly. And that type of presentation requires an empowered soul to come and facilitate that. So now it is predicted, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that over the next 10,000 years, the path of bhakti is going to overflood the world. And Krishna consciousness is going to be presented in a way that is relatable and relevant for people. People feel, yes, this Bhagavad Gita class is actually beneficial for me in my day-to-day life. As I'm working as a software engineer, as I'm dealing with my children, as a father, as a mother. So as a society, as a citizen of the society, Bhagavad Gita is beneficial. Most people, none of us read Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because we thought it's nothing to do with me. Will not help me in my job, will not help me with my family. That's what we thought. But it does. It requires somebody to present it in a way that's relevant for us. So you will see very soon, hopefully before we die, that there will be more places where spirituality, Krishna consciousness is presented in a way that's more relevant and relatable to people. So your desire will be fulfilled by Krishna soon anyway. Haribo. Mataji, you used all your 3 questions. Bhagyashri.
So, you said Krishna's one breath is 100 years for Brahma's year. So, my lifetime is only...
Shamakumar, some water please.
So, if in my lifetime, if I worship Krishna for next 20 years, it's not even a blip for Krishna. Is he like going to remember that I am calling?
Oh, yeah, amazing, right? What's my return on investment? And Bhagavata mentions how a moment in Krishna consciousness is worth many lifetimes, is actually better, is greater than many lifetimes living opulently, joyfully, but without Krishna consciousness. So one moment of Krishna consciousness, we actually make more spiritual progress. Krishna looks at it like many of you, I'm sure, follow some sort of sport. If you're following cricket, for example, somebody hits a single run, and I was reading recently that every run scored by somebody was being cheered by the audience. It's cheers, clapping, yay! India is coming closer to the target. Everybody is thinking, have you had this experience? We're thinking, yes, yes. Sachin Tendulkar, 90. Now he scores 91. Like, oh. So Krishna is doing like that for us. He's tracking us for lifetime after lifetime, for billions of lifetimes. He is looking at us, wow. This time maybe she will come to class. Maybe she will memorize one verse. Maybe she will pick up chanting beads. Maybe she'll chant one mantra. Maybe she'll do one full round. Maybe she'll take initiation. So Krishna is looking at every moment. We may forget what all devotional services we may have done. Do you remember how many mantras you have chanted so far? Being in this association, you chanted a few times. Do you remember how many? I don't remember how many I did, but Krishna remembers. Because our memory is very limited. But Krishna's memory is unlimited, and his love is also unlimited. So he remembers every little action. There is one book called Brihad Bhagavatamrita. There is a description of Gopakumara, one person who goes through this entire material world, goes to Swargaloka, goes to Brahmaloka, all that places, and eventually goes to the spiritual world, Vaikunta, Vishnu, then goes to Ayodhya, then goes to Dwaraka, then goes to Mathura, and eventually goes to Goloka Vrindavan. And as he is waiting, that was the time when Krishna is coming back in the evening with all the cows. And Krishna sees him, this Gopakumara, from far distance, and immediately his eyes become wide, and he runs towards Gopakumara, jumps on him and hugs him, and cries out in ecstasy and becomes unconscious in happiness. This is Krishna becoming emotional. So that is how much Krishna misses us. He loves us more than we love him. So yes, he will remember it. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
So is Krishna is mentioned as a male, right? Is he male or female energy?
See, right now I am sitting in a male's body. In my next life, I may become a female. So this is my temporary position. But Krishna in the spiritual world, Purusha in general means the enjoyer. And Prakriti means the enjoyed. Both of them get happiness in their constitutional position. So Krishna is eternally Purusha, and all the living entities, they are Prakriti. There are some cowherd boys, they are playing with Krishna in one rasa, as Sakya rasa. And they are enjoying with Krishna as a friend. And they get a lot of happiness. Some are gopis, as they are there as lovers. And they get happiness. Yashoda is as mother, she gets happiness. So Krishna is eternally Purusha, and everybody else is Prakriti. So male or female, not so important.
Is Radha somehow related to that?
Yes. So Radharani is the spiritual enjoying potency of Krishna. Actually, it is mentioned Radha Krishna are not two separate people. They are the same people, but for the sake of enjoyment, for the sake of pastime, you remember Krishna hugging himself. Then now we have Radharani, and Radharani is married to somebody else. This is all very deep philosophy. We will have a separate session. How this Parakiya Bhav is the highest. Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajate Prachar. There is tension, there is trauma involved, and there is heightened ecstasy.
What does Parakiya mean?
Separate session. I think Mataji understood. But the point is, Radha Krishna are same people, but for the sake of pastime, they are energetic and energy are separated as two separate forms, and they perform pastime for their enjoyment and for everybody's enjoyment. Because looking at their leelas, everybody gets enjoyment as so. Their leelas are not material, like boyfriend, girlfriend. Their attraction is purely sex based. The relationship between Radha Krishna is not like that. So, and those who are addicted to sex cannot understand that relationship. Bhagavatam mentions. So we will first try to purify ourselves, and then much more can be said. We'll probably have a separate discussion on what is these different rasas that Krishna enjoys in a separate session. Is that okay? We'll talk about that.
This male and female is for only for the material body only, right? So for the soul, it doesn't matter like it's soul enters one time male body and one time female body. So soul has that distinction, no, right?
In our spiritual bodies, in our eternal spiritual bodies, we will have either a male body or a female body, depending on the relationship we have with Krishna. And let's say I am in Vatsalya Ras, as a I have motherly love. So then I will become an elderly gopi in Vrindavan, churning butter for Krishna and thinking, wow, when will Krishna come and steal? Then I can chastise him, feed him butter, like that. So depending on our rasa, our position in the spiritual world. So yeah, if you're looking for a definitive male-female, yes, all of us will have either male or female body. But it primarily depends on not our current body, but it really depends on our purified condition. What rasa do we have with Krishna? Anything else? We plan to speak few other things, but I think we'll chant one round, and then we'll do short kirtan and conclude. Is that okay? And then, of course, as part of kirtan, we'll do Damodarashtakam. So first, we will. Do we have any kids? No kids. We will have some people distribute chanting beads, and as you get chanting beads, tomorrow, by the way, we have a morning in-person japa session at Ram Swarup Prabhu's home. So please do join for experiencing morning japa. I think kids can also join, no? Yes. Before kids come, I think maybe we should do announcements first. Okay, I will invite few announcements before kids come, or as they come. On-time devotees who came here by 6 o'clock, please raise your hand. We would like to recognize you for because by setting a good example like this, and I think many of you who came early were able to help us with moving things and setup. So we will thank all of you. We will loudly clap for them. Please try to come early so that we can start on time. Consistent chanters. If would you like to announce? If Prashantji would like to, yeah, maybe just the names.
Yeah.
Even those who chanted one round, one time. The second mic is here. Let us welcome Prashantji, who is consistently leading our chanting call for last so many months. Haribo! Yes, please.
Venu Prabhu, Satya Prabhu.
Yeah.
Mayuri Mataji, Prakash, Ramesh Prabhu, Balaji Prabhu, Madhvi Lata, Sakshi Mataji, Murti Prabhu, Ranjit.
Can you please read again?
Okay. Venu Prabhu, Satya Prabhu, मयूरी माताजी, प्रकाश, रमेश प्रभु, बालाजी प्रभु, माधवी लता, साक्षी माताजी, मूर्ति प्रभु, रंजित प्रभु, myself.
Haribo! We would like to see this count increased, doubled maybe if possible, from 11 to 22. Our highest was 25. So we want to. This week is the last week, the Bhishma Panchak. Today is the first day of Bhishma Panchak. I was telling Shamu Kumari, Panchak means 5. But Krishna is so merciful, somehow in America, it only has 4 days now. Bhishma Panchak is only 4 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If we perform these 4 days intense bhakti, we get a lot of credit. So over next few days, if possible, please do more chanting. That is the best austerity you can do. If you're able to perform other austerities like eating once, so you can do that. Fasting from Facebook, all that stuff. So you're welcome to do. But the most important is chanting. If you're able to chant more rounds, I think starting today, the way we set up our spiritual retreat, the qualification for joining is at least over the next 1 month until you join the spiritual retreat, you can experiment chanting 1 round for the next 27 days. That will give you the ticket to join us. So we're giving you some motivation, extra motivation to become consistent. So nothing more. So please consider starting chanting regularly. I think our condition is at least 50%. I told I may get kicked out from ISKCON if I give too many discounts. No, I'm just joking. Nothing. It's a volunteer organization, so Prabhupada is merciful enough to allow everybody. So over the next few weeks, please try to chant 1 round at least. And you're welcome to join our morning chanting call. We have a separate group. Please contact Prashant ji. He can facilitate. He will personally call you, wake you up in the morning if needed. So we can do anything. We are all standing by to help you. Anybody needs help, motivation, inspiration, example, alarm, anything like that, we are happy to facilitate. So chanting. What else? I think we should also start making report for Bhagavatam reading call also, and probably Sakshi Mataji, if she is there, then they can read. We want to thank Balaji Prabhu, he is not here yet, for leading the kids chanting call. I will read. Okay, let us chant, let us clap a little more loudly. Haribol! Did Balaji Prabhu send? No, they haven't. Okay. He did? I see Prashantji. Okay, no problem. And let us thank Venuji for taking care of communication and follow-up. So much work and time that Venuji spends in formatting the message, in pushing people, getting the right information from right places. We take it, everything happens so smoothly, we take it for granted sometimes. So we are very grateful to Venuji. He now took up the service of starting live stream also. So those of you who are driving on the way can also watch the Kirtan and the class. So we are very grateful to Venuji. Haribol. You had a thought or a comment, question?
So I wanted to ask about the chanting. When you guys wake up in the morning, do you guys like take bath or you just sit down and start chanting?
There are no hard and fast rules in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because many of us lead a very squeezed schedule. It's better we chant before kids wake up. So on a practical basis, it is recommended if we can do quick brush and then come sit and chant. But taking bath is better. If you are able to take bath and then come and finish chanting your prescribed rounds, whatever rounds before. For you, you don't have kids yet.
I've been avoiding call because of that. Only because it's just too much for me. Like waking up and then take bath and then sit down. So I do it, but not during call.
Please don't avoid us. We welcome even those who didn't take bath for last 1 week also. No, most, I don't know about others, I'll speak for myself. My mentors have recommended that the morning 10-15 minutes I spend bathing in Brahma Muhurta, if I'm able to wake up even earlier, better, and I'm working towards that. but I'm not there yet. So I spend the morning first. Those 10 minutes are very valuable for me. So I prefer to chant. So I do just quick brush.
Do you take bath?
No, I just wash my face, put tilak and sit and chant. And then at the end, then take care of nature's calls and then take bath and then start the rest of the day. So there's no hard and fast rules to take bath. It's not that if you hold the beads without taking bath, nothing like that. So it would be better because you'll notice if you take bath, your focus is better and things like that. So eventually we are working towards that, but it's not needed. Is it okay? So Prashantji sir, we will have Ankur also join us. Okay. Let's thank Madhavi Mataji for taking care of coordinating Prashadam, and I'll also invite her to speak about Gita Champion. Haribo!
Hare Krishna everyone. So yeah, as we spoke about it during our last session, like we have our Gita Championship coming up on December 6th. That's a Saturday. It's just 5 weeks away now. So hopefully you all are practicing the slokas. Please do register. I don't think I've seen much registrations yet. Please do register so that we know how many people are participating, and we'll have some prizes also. So that's another motivation for you guys to start practicing. Yeah, again, we have like different categories. Like for kids, there's a drawing. For our younger kids, there is a drawing competition, and then for the kids about 10 years, they can participate in sloka recitation. We have sent like 6 slokas. You are welcome to recite one sloka or all 6 slokas or any number of slokas that you are comfortable with. Along with reciting the slokas, you can also remember the translation and also recite that. So the more number of slokas and the translations you can recite that day, the higher chances of you winning the prizes. But nothing is stopping you from even reciting one sloka as well. Please do take up the opportunity and practice these slokas. So these are wonderful slokas that will help you recollect. And as like Shyam Prabhu said, when you are in some situation, that you will recollect these slokas, and that will help you in your life too. So yeah, that's all for now.
Haribo! Let us thank all the teachers, Balaji Prabhu, Mohit Prabhu. Who else is taking care of the kids? Vijeta Mataji. Today, kids. Let us thank all 3 of them. They kindly enabled us to focus here. Tomorrow, as I was mentioning, at Ram Swarup Prabhu's house, there is Japa, in-person Japa. I will be leading that session, so please join if you are able to. Morning chanting is very blissful. It's it's a completely different experience. So please consider joining. Can I request Shyamukumari? Please talk to Venuji if you haven't seen it. He has a secret place where you can RSVP.
Then we can get the account.
Yes. Yeah. Please do RSVP so they can prepare prasadam. Otherwise, we will have to share. Whatever prasadam I was planning to have, full plate has to be shared. I will reluctantly share, but can I request Shyamukumari to speak about Krishna Vein?
So as we all know that yesterday was Halloween. So we celebrate Krishna Veen, not Halloween, but of course Halloween as well, but Krishna Veen. So it's a Krishna conscious way of celebrating Halloween. And so we encourage children to get dressed up as any character from our Vedic Puranas, and they can come forward and they can maybe the children are here, that would be nice. Adults as well. It can be for adults too. It's not only limited to children.
I think that will be nice, no?
And that can be a suspense or a surprise. So they can come forward and they can give us a hint of what their character is about, and the audience can guess. So if a child is coming forward, we'll give a chance to the children to guess first, and if they are not able to answer, then adults will get a chance to. So everyone is encouraged to get dressed up. Any character, it can be from Mahabharata, Ramayana, Krishna stories, pastimes, any character, and it doesn't have to be limited to only the Dashavatars or anyone. It can be from any character from the story.
And I remember once in temple, one girl I think, became Narasimha, and their parents were so creative. They made Sudarshan Chakra with motorized, and they put some things around it. You can copy this idea, it's not patented, so you can take it. And they put some chimkis around that, so and their eyes were rotating, and I was like, wow, this is amazing actually. So you can have many such creative ideas to get ready for Krishna Veen. This is our Halloween, our version of Halloween. In Krishna consciousness, we have more festivals than material people. It's just that we put Krishna in the center and then we enjoy anyway. All questions at the end.
So that is next Saturday, Krishna Veen.
Next Saturday, okay. And spiritual retreat. Oh no, before that, Vaishnavi Sangha does Vijayata Mataji or anybody like to announce about Vaishnavi? Okay, before that, Vijayata Mataji is here. If not, we will have announcement about spiritual retreat. Who is making announcement for spiritual? Okay. Let us welcome Anu Prabhu, who will be coordinating our spiritual retreat.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So yeah, as Prabhu mentioned, we'll be having our spiritual retreat this year over the Thanksgiving break. So it starts on the 27th of November. 27th November morning we'll travel. It's near Salinas, like 1.5 to 2 hours drive depending on traffic. And we'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday we'll basically check out and come back. So as also Prabhu mentioned, there's a small qualification this time. So chanting one round at least 4 days a week. So that just encourages and motivates us to do that. And then during those days, our focus will be again just to be spiritually, together, inclined. We'll start our mornings early. We'll do chanting early. We'll have some spiritual talks, discussions amongst us. Then rest of the days during the day will be focused on just having some, I would say time together. Playing games. We'll be visiting some places. So, for example, we are thinking that on first day, which is Friday, we might visit a nearby zoo or a farm which kids will enjoy, do activities like that, come back, play some games within indoors. Next day we might travel a bit far, go somewhere in the nature, take a small hike, and do something like that. And then next day again, basically health check out and then just travel back. So we'll plan something like that. Focus again is spending time together, being spiritually conscious. And of course, the couple of spiritual retreats I have been to, the prasadam is amazing, and even more amazing is the preparation for prasadam. Like how everyone comes together, we chop together. The entire process is amazing. I think our tradition now since last time is Prabhus will be cooking the lunch. So we need a good team of Prabhus to come together and do that. And then yes, so that's there. You can reach out to Mohit Prabhu, to me, for any questions that you have. I'm more than happy to answer that. And I think there are a couple of videos already posted in the group earlier. We'll forward them again. And there's also a survey that was posted. We will be posting that again. So those of you